Coming, coming.
Hi everyone, it's been a while. 2 fucking years. I was looking at my old videos on this channel. At some point, I say, oh, and you will see this in next week's video, and we'll see that in a video coming up very soon. Fast forward 2 years, and I haven't done shit. So sorry for that. And then there was a couple of comments on the videos, and some were quite encouraging. So I thought maybe I should go back to working on this video camera channel. So I've gone back to work. The next videos will be on camera sensitivity and ISO, log encoding, RAW, and all that kind of stuff. But meanwhile, instead of making a useless announcement video, I thought I would get back on tracks with making this kind of off-topic little Premiere video. So this is a couple of tips for editing on Premiere Pro, especially if you're working on a small screen. Like say if you're editing on a laptop, the smaller the screen, the more useful those couple of tips will be. The default layout of Premiere is okay, but it eats up a lot of space uselessly. So here's a couple of tips to make the most of your small screen. First, in order to get the slickest, more to the point interface, first you want to remove all the tabs that you use either never or rarely. So for example, for me, it'll be the audio mixer, metadata, media browser, libraries, info, markers, and history. Then I think you want to think about I have a tiny screen. What's the information I want to maximize on my screen? I think there's two things, your timeline and your image. So first, I think your timeline should occupy the whole width of your screen. So you do this by moving up those two guys up there and reducing the width of the audio meter. This way you end up with a timeline that's way larger and easier to work on. The second thing is you want your image so that you can see something and you don't need to go back and forth with the full screen mode all the time. You want this image to be as big as possible. So there's a couple of ways you do that. So first, this tab up there, the workspace tab, you don't actually need it because it's in there. So you can start by removing it here. Then it's good for the timeline to be large, but it doesn't need to be that high because most people only work with one or two video tracks. So you can make the image relatively bigger this way. Oh, another thing I want to say for the timeline is it's good to stretch audio 1 and video 1 in order to have a good look at the waveforms and to have the thumbnails of the video. So for example here, if it's too small, I don't make it large enough so that you see the thumbnails. So then we could stop this way, but we can actually go further. Do we actually need this? I would say for people experienced with Premiere, we don't. This and this, we don't end up changing them around that much while we were editing. This we don't need because we have it here, and this, you probably already know the shortcuts of most of these. So you can hide all that unnecessary information if you go in Program, Panel Group Settings, Stacked Panel Group, and this way you can have sort of you can hide them in this way. And with a stacked panel group you can get an image that's way bigger, so you kind of need to tweak things around until you you get something you're satisfied with. You don't want to crop the image, but you want to make it as big as possible. Let's see. Maybe a bit bigger still. So there you go. You can see that we've kind of decluttered the interface quite a lot. We only have the information that's absolutely necessary to work with on screen at all times. And I just think it makes for a cleaner work environment. So here's how it looked before with the default layout and how it looks now. If you like it this way, you can save it as a custom workspace. You can go in Window, Workspaces, Save as New Workspace, and call it whatever you want. So thanks for watching, and see you soon for the actual digital camera videos.